Roll for adventure.
I missed my crit. Joe's not going to say anything in this segment. He's very, very...
Son of a bitch.
What
God
are you
damn it,
expecting
Joe!
from me?
I don't know. Something witty. Something creative. Something like Thaco.
Have you fucking met me?
Oh, God.
I expected some D&D reference there.
You know who would have given us a D&D reference?
Peter Chu.
Peter Chu.
Probably.
Jeff Craig. Matt
I
Craig.
don't know what you guys were doing.
Level-
If this was
even
a new
fucking
intro you
level
had.
one.
Nobody knew what was
Nobody
happening.
knew what... All right.
No, have you not listened to the past episodes?
Fucking me.
Here's our
No,
intros.
I'm like 2 weeks behind.
Our intros have now just become how do we trip Chris or Roger up?
Oh, okay.
Like it's we reword our old intro and we try to make each other laugh or crack before we're done.
Okay.
And honestly, Joe, you failed.
You cracked.
You cracked so fast.
I rolled a 1. What do you want?
You were like, see, there you go. That's how you do it. You'd be like,
That was beautiful.
You'd be like, I rolled a 1. That'd have been fine. But no, you were like, cricket chirp, cricket chirp, cricket chirp.
Yeah. No, I'm
God
not professional.
damn it, Joe.
Alright, so I mean...
Well,
I guess
I've managed to piss off Roger, so
That
my
took
day's
a whole-
complete.
that
I'm
took
going to
a
go
whole-
home.
I
minutes.
think everybody can guess what we're going to be talking about this episode, though.
We're going to be talking about D&D.
D&D.
It's dynamite.
D&D.
I have nothing to say.
He's gonna win that fight!
All right, so like honestly, we all know the truth. We all know that Gary Gygax and Dave Arneson created D&D.
Yeah.
Like that goes without saying. Everyone knows that. But what people don't know, might not know, is actually how D&D started, which is an interesting little story. At least I think so in my world of nerddom.
Share.
So Gary Gygax was a big fucking war gamer. Like that was his thing. He loved war games.
Yeah.
And he was part of a whole society of war games and everything else. And he wrote his own little rules for war gaming and did all that. But then he decided to take the game from epic armies to small little parties, if you will. 3 or 4 characters on a map doing war games. And this is what led to the basis of Chainmail. And Chainmail was a high fantasy war game set in small parties instead of big armies, where heroes stood out, apart from just the Napoleonic Wars or the World War II wars that we're accustomed to playing. As that went on, Dave Arneson got his hands on Chainmail, sat up and wrote a whole Blackmore, something called Blackmore, which was a war game, but the characters stayed the same and progressed through levels. So now all of a sudden you're taking the same little figs and going through level, leveling up, and you got yourself attached to your character. Gary Gygax hears this, goes up, plays a weekend, plays in Blackmore, sees what it's about, goes back, and now runs his own Blackmore game. And between these two guys running a game, a new format of gaming was developed. 2 guys doing 2 separate things on separate ends of the fucking world made a new format for games. And that's how we got to role-playing games. Fucking 2 guys. That's it. 2 guys. They got together, they put rules together, they figured out exactly what this game was meant to be about, and that gave us D&D, the first edition, otherwise known as...
The white box.
The fucking white box.
The white box.
Now there's just a little tidbit here. The first edition of white box comes with hobbits. The second edition does not. TSR is very good about getting sued for stealing other people's shit.
Yeah, they are.
Like really good. Deities and demigods, AD&D, Cthulhu. Yeah, they got sued over that one too.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
Yeah, they enjoy unabashedly taking other people's properties and using them in their shit.
Heaven forbid you use the ampersand on anything.
Oh God.
Oh my God, TSR would ream you so hard.
Man, they would if they saw the number of flyers I put an ampersand on, like they would sue the shit out of me.
You would have that store
just for
done.
that.
So in 1974, you had the original white box D&D come out. Needless to say, the game was not really that successful the first go-around.
Well, how many printings did it have?
Right, it didn't have a lot.
How many came out?
17 were printed.
No, I mean, it was a decent amount. It was like 500, 600.
Yeah.
But it didn't really...
It was very few.
But they positioned it as a war game.
Right.
So wargamers bought this expecting wargaming in a fantasy realm.
And it was not.
It was not wargaming. So it took a little while. It actually took 3 years when they released D&D Basic Set First Edition to come out. And AD&D came out the same year. That's when D&D kind of became what the gaming giant it is today. It took off. People were realizing what was going on. They realized it was a new form of gaming. and a lot of teenagers. And what the hell are you getting in your wallet for?
Just keep going. I was getting a knife out.
A lot of teenagers and new gamers were getting into this game. And then in 81, you had the second version, the white box, the second version come out. 83 through 86, you had the third version of D&D Basic set. 89 is when AD&D second edition came out. That was, like, honestly, the biggest rules overhaul that we had seen at this point. No longer were the player manuals coming in like magazine form or little cheap paperback forms. They were like these thick hardcover books, and it was the first time we had, a player's handbook, monster's manual, dungeon master's guide,
the core set.
As the core set, it was boom. Here it is. Here's what you need to fucking run this game. Actually, and that's not even true because the monster manual didn't come out at that time. That's when they were releasing the monster compendiums to put in the binders.
Yeah.
It wasn't until like 2 years later they went, okay, people are done with binders. Let's go ahead and put the shit.
Compile it into one big book.
Yeah, when we did the fucking AD&D second edition revised, let's fucking do it right.
Right.
But those are the books that most people know of AD&D. It's the one with the barbarian kicking down the door and the beholder on the cover and that's where you had everything in one, condensed the rules, streamlined it, and actually kind of made a game out of it. Because before with D&D, instead of it kind of working right, every character had their own set of rules. And they had their own weird ways of doing things. Like a thief would roll a D10 to hit, and a barbarian would roll like a D6, and everything was just fucked up.
Right.
Like damage was done all differently. It was definitely two guys sitting in the basement trying to figure out how to make this thing work. Right. And by the 80s, they actually, had a company, were making, tens of dollars like we hope to do one day. And figured it out and got their shit together. And then you had an AD&D, that second edition ran from 89 to 2000.
Yep.
That's 11 years. Yeah. No role-playing game lasts 11 years now.
No, generally not.
Go back and think about it. Let's look at editions that come out. No role-playing game lasts 11 years. Hell, Deadlands had a second edition within 5 years. Right. And then you got the second explosion to D&D, which was third edition. And a lot of that... Third edition sucks. We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah, well...
The reason third edition was so good, though, was it was a $20 role-playing game.
Yeah, it was cheap as dirt.
It was $20. Go fucking play some D&D. Then 2003, show you how bad D&D was, third edition was. 2003, you had 3.5 come out to clean up the rules, do all that. 2008, D&D fourth edition, which we will discuss more in detail here in a minute. And then in 2014 to present, we have D&D 5th edition.
Which is awesome.
D&D 5th edition is amazeballs.
It's so good.
Super refined. So good. Super refined.
So kind of what I want to do here is now let's just kind of talk editions here. We kind of suck second editions nuts a lot. So let's dive into third edition and why third edition sucks or why it's good. Joe, explain why it's good.
I enjoyed it just because as a change up to the rules, especially the extra attacks that you got, how you'd end up with the various multipliers. The main problem with that being we were starting to break into too much math.
Well, we saw that. We see that nowadays with Math Finder.
Yeah. No, I mean I liked it for that because it gave you some bigger options that people hadn't considered before. It added some things.
So for you guys who don't know, that are actually trying to be informed here, sorry, Joe, I don't mean to say not informing people. You're doing a good job.
I mean, that's fair.
One of the big differences between from AD&D second edition to D&D third edition, one, they dropped the advance. It just became D&D. They were no longer doing the basic D&D line.
Right.
Also, instead of rolling low on a D20, you want to roll high on a D20.
Yeah, they used to have it kind of like percentage roll, where you're trying to roll as low as possible.
Because you wanted to hit THAC0. You wanted to hit AC 0. THAC0. Yeah. That's what you had to roll under. Calculate that shit and go.
That was probably my favorite part about third edition because THAC0 was a pain in the ass.
Well, no,
it's a backwards math problem.
To be honest with you,
math problem.
AD&D was for nerds. It was for math nerds. It was for guys that enjoyed problem solving numerically.
Right.
Role playing kind of came second, and it wasn't, and that's why you had the explosion of other games that focused on storytelling. Right. You had Call of Cthulhu. You had L5R. You had all these games come out because of what D&D did. They focused on something different than the math.
Right.
AD&D definitely was about math and about learning rules, and that's where the rule loring kind of came in from. Third edition tried its best to get rid of that, but it stumbled over its own feet.
Yeah,
because it had fucking feats, and feats were fucking horrible.
Yeah, no, the feats were bad. Was it third or 3.5 when they introduced flaws?
3.5.
3.5. All right, which was just another worse idea.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, no. The whole idea of trying to make it less math heavy than AD&D had been was a great plus in my opinion.
The core
Unfortunately,
system,
how they went about it just made it like a bunch of additions.
No. The core system worked fine. Like at its core, third edition worked fine. At its core, but it was not a system that was designed for all the add-ons, all the bells and whistles that came out with the D&D. The other issue was with third edition, we had something called the OGL, Open Gaming License.
Yeah.
And that really almost destroyed the industry.
Wizards' balls were too big.
Wizards' balls were too big, and
Way too big.
They created an OGL where now anyone could publish D20 material. And everyone was publishing D20 material. The creativity in the market just dropped. And honestly, why wouldn't it? Why would I devote 5 years or 2 years in creating a fresh RPG system when I could slap a skin on this system that I can use for free, sell my game, and go about it that way? Everyone knows how to play third edition. But you had Call of Cthulhu D20, Deadlands D20, Age of Heroes, City of Heroes,
Star Wars D20.
Rifts, Star Wars D20. We'll get to that in a second because that's a 4th edition conversation to have.
That's fair. No, I mean but that OGL was definitely the death of like the big 90s boom of RPGs.
And Star Wars, at least...
I directly blame it for the reason White Wolf went down.
Yeah, no, it definitely was. Like, because White Wolf did not publish D20.
No, God.
If they were smart, they would have.
Their systems, though, for like Vampire and Werewolf were fucking
great,
though. And
let's be honest.
Games.
White Wolf has the best system for trying to actually, tell a story and role play anywhere.
I'll give you that.
And you can do anything with the White Wolf system.
Yeah.
Any fucking thing.
Yeah.
So D20 was okay at its core. They just fucked it up. And then you have what I think is my second favorite edition, 4th edition.
Okay.
Now, hear me out. I get a lot of nerd rage on 4th edition. People fucking can't stand the fact I like 4th edition. One, Star Wars D20 works, right? Have you played it?
Once.
It's 4th edition. The
Basically,
fucking game is like the exact... It's fucking 4th edition.
Right.
It is 4th edition, and everyone was okay with it. Like go on eBay and look for Star Wars D20 rulebooks. They're butt-fuck expensive. Yeah. Because the system works.
Right.
It works. The problem is people were so used to 3rd edition D&D, that they could not go back to this simpler, because that's what it was. D&D 4th edition was a simple way to play D&D.
I heard it was a board game version of D&D. I never played it.
You ever played 4th edition?
It was simple enough to where it was basically board game style.
Kind of, except it had way more...
a lot weirder to try to do theater of the mind than it was to just do it with minis.
You definitely had to use minis.
Yeah.
But D&D, let's be 100% clear. D&D is not a theater mind game. We can run this theater mind in any edition we want, but it is meant for miniatures.
Except for 5th edition. I'll give you everything except 5th.
I think 5th edition still works better with miniatures.
Because
disagree. The way spells work, the way templates are, like even then, like just having the miniatures. Like I'm a theater of mind guy. I don't like miniatures. They boggle from they distract from everything. But when you run D&D, you kind of need them.
It is definitely easier. I disagree about 5th edition, but I will agree that 5th edition isn't as easy to run in Theater of the Mind as, say, like the current Star Wars RPGs.
No, it's definitely not.
Those were super designed for that.
Call of Cthulhu is a prime example.
I find 5th easy and loose enough to where Theater of the Mind isn't a problem.
The problem with 4th edition, because we're still in 4th edition, we'll get to 5th edition in a minute. The problem with 4th edition was it was too simple. Like, we had the overcomplications of 3rd edition and 3.5. And all of a sudden, you're taking us back to a simpler time where instead of... It actually, people will say, well, look at the skill list. The skill list is not as deep as 3rd edition. You're right. Heaven forbid a game try to fucking make you roleplay for a change.
Yeah, no,
because here's how Joe, let's act out a scene together in 3rd edition. I want you to be the barkeep, okay?
I don't want to be the barkeep.
You be the barkeep.
Right, I'll be the barkeep.
Hello, barkeep.
Hello, good sir.
I would like a drink.
What kind of drink?
I would like ale.
And then you would have to roll, like...
I'm rolling because I don't want to pay for it.
Right.
So I'm going to roll this D20, and you'll give it to me for free because I rolled a 20. Thank you.
Yeah.
And here's 4th edition. How do I fucking get free beer? Oh, I can't?
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Let me make a charisma check. Oh, I did okay. Okay, let's try to haggle and actually role play for a change.
Yeah.
Sir, I only got a copper. Will copper give me a beer?
Copper will get you water.
All right. How about water and a little bit of that ale? I saved.
How about I set the ale near you so you can smell it while you drink the water?
How about I saved the town and a copper's good for ale?
Well, if you saved the town, sure.
Thank you. See, look, role playing, and that's what 4th edition was about. It was about actually trying to get role playing into a role playing game.
Right. No, like I will definitely agree with you. Most people didn't like 4th because of how simple it got. That's how we ended up with Pathfinder. People wanted a fucking crunchier game. That wasn't my problem with 4th.
No, hold on. Like, I actually have legit issues with 4th. 4th is not perfect.
No, Surges were fucking terrible.
Healing. Like, everyone fucking can heal.
Yeah, no, that was asinine as shit.
Like there are issues with 4th edition. 4th edition by no means is perfect, but it's not as bad as people make it out to be.
My main problem, honestly, with 4th edition was what happened to the world in between 3rd and 4th. Like, storyline-wise, with the whole planes, like, that's the part that bothered me. I know you don't give a rat's ass.
Here's the thing. Nobody cares.
I care.
Yeah, you care because you read the fluff and you're like, oh, it's fluff. But as a player, as a GM, you take that shit and you go, yeah, I don't care about that shit. I'm running fucking Ravenloft, or I'm fucking running Grayskull, or I'm running Living Greyhawk, or I'm gonna run Planescape. You don't give a shit what the main book says. It's about the source material after that.
No, I was still bothered.
And 4th edition had a shit ton of source material come out for it in its short run.
Yeah, that was my other main problem. That's way too many. They had way too many books come out way too fast.
But to be honest, 4th edition did go from 2008 to 2013.
Right.
That is a 5-year run on the game. Which is more than 3rd edition got.
I will say the one thing that 4th edition definitely got right was the skill check stacks.
Yeah.
With the multi-rolls for doing cool shit.
And I think
that was fantastic. I actually even used that in my 5th edition games.
I think if you look at 5th edition, now we're going to suck 5th edition off a lot.
I mean, it's really good.
Because 5th edition is really good.
It's creamy and
it definitely ate its oranges because it's sweet to the teat. 5th edition, though, looking at 5th edition, they used the math from 4th edition. Go look at the system from 4th to 5th.
No, they do.
They use the math. The core is the same. To me, 5th edition it should not be called D&D 5th edition. It should just be called Advanced D&D. Because that's what it is. It's Advanced 4th edition. Because you still have instead of surges and heals, you do have that save versus death throw.
Yeah.
I succeeded 3 times. I'm up to 1 hit point. Here I go.
Right.
You've got a lot of similarities between the two. What they did was they took out the board game aspect. They took, and that's why it's a lot easier to run Theater of Mind. Is we got so hit of, oh my god, it's World of Warhammer on a fucking role playing game. They try to stay away from that as much as possible. But at its core, it's still 4th edition. It's just beefed up, and which is where I truly think they dropped the ball in 4th edition instead of coming out with basic and advanced, which is what they should do. Like they should have a basic D&D to get people into D&D,
right,
and then go to the advanced level. Honestly,
I feel like they kind of do.
I mean,
the starter kit is the basic.
Yeah, that's kind of the point of the starter kits.
But that's the basic.
Yeah, but that's a new thing. They didn't have a starter kit for 3rd edition.
And we've come full circle because it's box D&D.
Yeah, they did.
No,
I owned it.
It was $20.
I owned.
No, you're talking a little
demo.
That little bullshit map thing. Fuck that.
It counts.
And that came out after 3rd edition. That came out 6-8 months after 3rd edition was launched.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it was a while. It was when they went, oh, it's not selling as well as we thought it would.
Right.
Let's fucking figure out a way to make some more money.
But no, having the starter set is definitely a great way. It's a cheap way to get into it. If you never want to play with harder rules than what is there, you really don't have to.
Do you know what the best way to get into D&D is?
Merle's Truck Stop in Maine.
Well, no, that's the best way to get into Merle's Truck Stop Maine is the best way to get into role playing. The best way to get into D&D is find a Adventure League that runs on Wednesday nights at your LGS.
Yeah.
Yeah, Adventure League is a fantastic
Go to your LGS, fucking play some D&D, learn how to play the game. It's amazing.
Usually a great group of guys and gals who love nothing better than to teach you how a character sheet works.
Yeah, because it's fucking confusing your first time.
Oh, dude, I still suck at character sheets.
I know.
I know.
I know. I've seen you build it.
You should see my Star Trek sheet. It's all
well,
fucked
I'm
up.
Like,
your Star Trek sheet makes me laugh.
I do the thing where I draw a circle with my pencil continuously, and I'm like, all right, where in the hell do I write this number? It's a 12. And Joe's like, Chris, it's right there. It's at the top left corner.
Well, I mean...
it's your name.
I have been doing so much 5th that I've kind of basically got it memorized to where as long as you're not asking me to pick spells for a character...
Yeah.
Give me a race, give me a class, so I can build it on the sheet in 10 minutes minus spells.
Nice. Yeah. So,
Do we need to have a build challenge now? Did I just throw
Are we
that
gonna
out?
build? Are we gonna build?
No,
I mean,
we're not going to do a build.
we don't
off
have
right
time
now.
for that.
So real quickly before we wrap this up, favorite edition and why?
Uh,
Well, we're gonna knock 5th edition out.
we're
gonna take
favorite
5th
edition
edition
that's
out.
not 5th.
Yeah, we're gonna take 5th edition out because
It's everybody's
it's
favorite.
fucking amazing, and it's the new shit. It's what everyone is. If you're gonna buy D&D, that's what you're gonna buy. You're gonna buy 5th.
I mean, that's what you need to buy.
Yeah.
So yeah. So other than that, let's talk old editions. Your favorite old edition of D&D?
I'd have to. Dude, that's. I mean,
I've only ever played
I
second. Fifth.
I honestly want to say 3rd just because I hate Thaco that much, but
Because Dum Dum can't play D&D.
I mean, I hate Thaco, but at the same time, like until now, then I would have had to do way too much legwork to do Tomb of Horrors again.
Yeah.
And
I know I've only played 2nd and 5th.
So second,
Yeah,
obviously.
I mean, 2nd's the only one that I have because I played one shots that were based off the 2nd edition system.
that's fair.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 2nd edition. I played the shit out of 3rd and 4th edition, and I love 4th edition way more than 3rd edition. But 2nd edition, there's something there is something to be accomplished when you go through those old modules, not modulars, those old modules, and come out on top.
Oh yeah,
like those that's D&D there.
no, especially if you can do it with like Tomb of Horrors or Dead and They,
Right,
Like
yeah.
any of those.
Doing those old modules, coming out on top, beating the fucking game, you have a sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
And no other edition of D&D, even 5th edition, has given me that sense of accomplishment like 2nd edition has.
That's fair.
So on that note, guys,
Wait, before one question. You guys should on air do a one shot sometime.
we have.
We have.
I mean,
World
not
Cup Main.
Oh, a D&D.
Of D&D, just for giggles.
We,
Roger, I haven't seen you DM in forever. It's always entertaining.
we've got something in the works.
We got
Okay.
a few things going on.
Yeah, it's just
But right now we wanna. Hey, I'm gonna throw down a challenge, guys.
Okay.
Real quickly, because we dropped it once. Send us an email. Or a Facebook request, and I will ship you a PDF copy of MoralStrikes.me.
ship it to you.
I'll ship it to you.
We need
Like
your,
the emails.
we need your email address.
Like send us a message on Facebook or
Instagram,
Twitter. Send us a message with your email address, and I will give you a PDF copy of MoralStrikes.me.
Absolutely.
100% free.
And when he says I will, he probably means Chris is
It'll
gonna
be
send
Chris
that to you.
because I'm technologically stupid, but
So I will send you a copy of Merle's Truck Stop in Maine.
Yeah. Well, here's what we need you to do before you do all that. Go to beastscaperoom.com.
Enter the promo code Geeky.
Get 20% off your Beast Escape Room experience. That's 1 hour of real life D&D.
And it's like you're only paying. So okay, you're paying 80% and not 100.
Yeah. That's like me bargaining for free beer.
That's winning.
Winning.
You're role playing just by using
20%.
this promo code.
That's right.
All right, guys. Go to entertainthegeeky.com. You can follow us on all of our social media there. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that fun stuff. YouTube. It's all there. So click those like buttons, comment, subscribe, send us an email at entertainthegeeky@gmail.com.
With your email address, and we'll gladly give you a free copy of Merle's Truck Stop in Maine.
As always, stay geeky.
Roll some dice.